What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Hangout Spot. Real talk, sports talk, live from the cave. It's your boy Johnny. And what can I say? We're actually going to attempt to recap that debacle last night at MetLife Stadium, because the New York Jets once again prove to me that I should never ever go against my gut when I have a strong feeling that they're going to come out and lay an egg. If you guys remember on my pregame prediction video, I predicted. I said my gut told me that the Jets would probably lose this game because I didn't feel good about what I saw after the Giant game. I mean, the offense was terrible. I thought the Chargers would come in and play inspired football, trying to get to 500. Thought they were chomping at the bit. And I didn't think that we would be able to put up ample amount of points to be able to compete with them. I said the Chargers would probably win 24-17. But then I went ahead, the idiot in me, and I said, my heart tells me differently, that the Jets are going to come out different. They're going to play a hell of a defensive game. We're going to finally get the ball in the end zone, and we're going to beat the Chargers 24-17. And boy, was I wrong. But this is what the Jets do. This is what they do. They pull you in, and they give you hope. And then they just rip your heart out. And if you're a Jet fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like the scene in The Godfather with Michael Corleone. Just when I got out, they pull me back in. That's what the Jets do. That's what they're good at. And yesterday was no different. Yesterday was no different. At MetLife Stadium, in front of a packed house, against a 3-4 Charger team, the Jets go out there and they play one of the worst offensive football games I've seen. And mind you, I thought I said that about the Giant game. I think I said that about the Giant game. Well, guess what? I'm saying it again. Just when you thought they couldn't play any worse, yesterday's game happened. And they lose 27-6. So I almost got the Chargers score right in my gut. But boy, was I wrong about the Jets. And I was going to make a post-game video. After the game, I was kind of pissed off. But then I said to myself, it might not be a good idea. Might be a better idea to sleep on it and gather my thoughts and then come back today and give you my assessment. But I got to be honest, I woke up this morning and I still didn't know where to start. I don't even know where to start now, to be honest with you, with what I saw yesterday. Just a horrendous game all around. What could have went wrong. That's becoming a common theme, isn't it? I think I've said that before in some of my other videos. Anyhow, so I figured the best way to start this thing is to go back to my 5 keys of victory that I predicted the Jets needed to execute on in order to give themselves a good chance to win this game. Because strangely enough, 4 out of those 5, they failed to do. They did the total opposite. In fact, the only key to victory that they actually followed through with was the defense. I said that the defense needed to continue to play stellar football against some of these elite level quarterbacks, and they did that. They held Justin Herbert to 136-yard passing, and they sacked him 5 times. We'll get into that in a second. But offensively, which was my first key to victory, putrid, terrible. And I got to be honest, even though blame can go around, it falls on the quarterback. Ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it real. This kid, Zach Wilson, is not an NFL caliber quarterback, at least not yet. And who knows if he's ever going to be one? I don't know. This is year 3. And we're still seeing the same rookie mistakes that we saw during his first year and his second year. You may not want to hear it, but it's facts. When you have an offense that's dead last in almost every offensive category in an offensively driven league, that falls on the quarterback. Sorry. Think about it. It's always the quarterback, whether it's good or bad. Super Bowl teams, who gets all the love? Who usually wins the MVP? The quarterback. Bad teams? Yeah, comes with the territory. It's usually the quarterback. As the quarterback goes, the offense goes. And if you have an offense that cannot convert on a third down and cannot score touchdowns, Sorry, guys. It's on the quarterback. And Zach Wilson is not good at playing quarterback, at least not at this point in his career. And honestly, part of me feels bad for him because he shouldn't have even been in this position. There was no plans to play him this year. The plan was for Aaron Rodgers to come in and quarterback this team. But what the Jets should have done is they should have thought and had a good backup plan and said, you know what? Regardless of the fact, it's probably a better idea that we redshirt this kid so that he can sit back and he can learn from one of the best that ever do it. He can keep a headset on during the sidelines, hear the game plan, adjust to the play calling, read defenses, see how Aaron Rodgers operates on the field, audibles, as a leader in the locker room. And they should have got themselves a veteran backup in the event that Aaron Rodgers ever went down. We were talking about a 39-year-old quarterback. And as you get older, the chances are that you're probably going to be injured more than when you were a young player. That's just reality. So even if the Jets would have had Aaron Rodgers for the first 5, 6, 7 games, and they would have won 4 or 5 of those games, and he tweaks an ankle and he's out 2 weeks, you still want a guy that's going to be able to come in there and at least win a game or 2 for us while he's not there. But, that didn't happen. And the Jets lost Rodgers 4 games into the season, and then this kid was thrust into a starting role that he was totally not ready for. And that's reality, like I said. I mean, for everybody that wants to say that he's improved, well, guess what? His numbers say otherwise. 5 interceptions, 5 touchdowns. His completion percentage is still below 60. His QBR is in the 70s. I mean, again, we're talking about minimal improvements. He's not throwing any interceptions. That's what people are going to fall back on the last few games. But guess what? Now he's putting the ball on the ground. 3 fumbles last night. 3 fumbles. 2 that went back to the Chargers. I mean, that's unacceptable. Last week against the Giants, another 2 fumbles. 5 fumbles, 4 of them lost in the last 2 weeks. So he's not throwing it to the other team, but he's putting it on the ground so the other team can pick it up. That's no different. That just tells me that, again, his pocket awareness is not good. He's still holding on to the football way too long. And you knew the way this game was going to go yesterday because his first couple of passes, I mean, I don't know if he was amped up or overhyped up or whatever it was, but he airmailed one. He threw another one late to Lazard, which I don't even know how the hell Lazard got up. I thought that hit, I thought it killed him. He almost got a couple of receivers killed yesterday. And again, the reason why this kid is not throwing picks is because he's holding on to the football way too long. He's trying not to throw picks. And he's waiting for receivers to get open before he throws it. And that's not what an NFL quarterback does. They have to be instinctive. They have to put the ball where it's supposed to be and trust that the receiver is going to get there. They have to anticipate the opening and put it there before it's actually there. The secondary, the defenses are too fast. You can't wait for a receiver to be open and then throw him the football. He was late on a lot of footballs. He was inaccurate on some. Again, in typical form, he'll make a few good throws during the game, but the ones that count, he'll either misfire or he'll take a sack. He took 8 sacks yesterday. And I'm not going to sit here and say they were all his fault. The offensive line was ass. There's no way around it. They were bad, and I knew they were going to be bad. I had a funny feeling they were going to be bad. It's a patchwork offensive line. You're putting guys in different positions. Billy Turner, I don't even know why he's on the team. He was garbage in preseason. How did he make the team? And that's why I was so upset last night with Joe Douglas. Because how could you stand pat at the trade deadline and not try to do whatever you possibly can to get this team some offensive line help with all the injuries they've had and the inconsistent play that they've had for the entire year? How could you do that? The only way that you could possibly put a young quarterback in a position to succeed is at least block better for him. And he failed to do that. I mean, he picked up some guy from who was sitting at home in street clothes. Did we dress him yesterday? No, because that's what we do. We picked up Trevor Siemian a few weeks ago, and I think it was more to shut the fans up because we haven't even dressed him. I mean, how does that make sense? Make that make sense. So you got a GM that continues to not do what he needs to do to address the offensive line, and you want this team, you want this quarterback who has no pocket awareness already. I don't believe his pocket awareness is good even with a good offensive line. And you want this offense to move the football. It's impossible. The guy doesn't have the talent level to do that. Like great quarterbacks, elite quarterbacks, they can mask a bad offensive line. Why? Because they make good decisions quick. They're accurate with the football. They have good pocket awareness. They can move in the pocket. They can take what the defense gives them and pick up some yardage when the pocket collapses. These are all things that I wanted Zach to do, especially take advantage of when the pocket collapses, because I knew that would happen. I mean, we were facing Boza and Khalil Mack. They were coming in with 7 sacks, 5 sacks. What did they do yesterday? One had 2.5 sacks. The other had 2. They wrecked the game in the backfield. Boza had that strip sack on Zach Wilson that led to a touchdown and made it 14-0. You know, I mean, these are, I mean, it just can't happen. The fumbles, the third down efficiency, that was another key to victory. And after 3 weeks of putrid third down execution, they go ahead and they're 3 of 17 yesterday. How can you win games like that? It's mind-boggling to me. You just can't. You're consistently putting your defense in a bad position. The defense, I don't know how the defense, again, in most cases, can stay on the field late in games, especially when they were pretty much playing the entire first half. Morstead punted 10 times in the first half. That's unacceptable. You mean to tell me with an offense that has a dynamic running back and a stud number 1 receiver and some pretty decent tight ends, you can't muster multiple first downs in today's NFL? Not good. Not good at all. And again, you know, one of my other keys was the penalties, you know, the undiscipline in this team, the pre-snap penalties that continue to kill them. That shit has to stop. When is Saleh going to get on these guys? I mean, 9 penalties, you know, last week against the Giants, 4 weeks ago, another 9, yesterday, 8. These are all pre-snap penalties. How many times, and I think I've said this on another video, how many times are we going to see the Jets pick up a first down or a nice, finally a nice play or a chunk play, and it's called back because of a stupid penalty? Time and time again, Lazard, not only is he dropping passes, but now he's committing penalties. I mean, what are we paying this guy for? It's crazy. And I know Garrett Wilson had a fumble yesterday, totally unacceptable. The kid's been lights out the entire season, but that can't happen. Not on a team that realistically needs to almost play perfect football on the offensive side to give themselves any chance to win a game. I mean, you know, and the defense, like I said, you know, what can I say? You know, they held Herbert to 136-yard passing for the most part in the first half. He was confused. He was throwing short passes. They were dropping passes. They had 5 sacks. They forced a couple of fumbles, which that's another thing. You know, this team is making a habit of forcing fumbles and not picking them up because they're not falling on them. And I think that's more of a byproduct of them trying to make a play, because I think they know that if they don't make a play, that the offense is probably not going to score. So they're trying to do whatever they can to make a play and try to get points on the board on a defensive end. But you can't do that. You got to fall on these fumbles and give us a chance. You know, another 2 fumbles that we failed to fall on. You know, an interception that Whitehead pretty much dropped. I mean, these are plays that we have to make. But again, I'm not going to be that hard on our defense because for the most part, they're keeping us in games. And I said it, we are winning these games despite consistent offensive play. And that has all to do with the defense, all of it. The defense and special teams are carrying this team to wins, improbable wins we should have probably lost if we want to keep it real. So I'm not blaming them, but what I'm also saying is that it's not sustainable. You know, they're going to have bad games. I mean, the special teams, which realistically their punt coverage has been great all year, they give up a punt return for a touchdown early in that game yesterday. You know, on a run where this guy from the Chargers is probably still running. But again, you know, they've been pretty solid. Their kicking game has been really, really good. You can't really fault them, although realistically, if you want to blame anybody for the loss, there's plenty of blame to go around. but it starts with the offense. The play calling is just not good. When is this team going to take shots vertically down the field so that the opposing defense can at least respect some kind of vertical passing game? It's all intermediate, 5-10 checkdowns, 10-yard, passes, in the middle of the field. It's just garbage. It's predictable. How many times during the game did I predict it? One of their bullshit plays. If I'm predicting it, you mean to tell me that the defensive coordinator can't? Come on, let's be real. And the crazy part about it is, like I said, this team is ready defensively. They have a championship caliber defense. No one can tell me otherwise. If we even get consistent, competent quarterback play, this team will be extremely dangerous. And right now, we're not getting that, and it hurts. It really does. It feels like you're wasting a good defense. They're just wasting away, and it's a shame. It really is, because I realistically, in my heart, I feel like we could have been a half a game out of first place yesterday. I mean, every one of the teams in our division lost yesterday. They did us a solid. The Dolphins lost, Patriots lost, the Bills lost. You figured this was the opportunity for the Jets to just grab it, get to 5-3, a half a game out of first, tied with the Dolphins in the loss column with 2 games against them coming up, and they crapped in the bed like they usually do. It's just, it's frustrating. It really is, man. And it gives me no glimmer of hope that they're going to be able to turn this thing around, because guess what, folks? Number 8, whether you want to believe it or not, is not walking through that door anytime soon. I know that there's rumors and people want to believe that he's coming back in 3 weeks, and this whole 12/28 Christmas Eve comeback date, everything that the conspiracy theorists are saying. I don't believe it, and I'm not counting on it. If it happens, great. Hey, listen, I'd welcome it, but at the end of the day, I don't believe it's happening. I don't think it's medically possible for any athlete to come back from that type of an injury in 3.5 months. I just don't. It's never been done. I mean, can it be done? I don't know. It remains to be seen. I doubt it. And to be honest with you, with the way that this offensive line is producing, I would probably advise him not to. For what? He's going to come back and probably get hurt again anyway. So he's not coming in to save us anytime soon. The Jets are not making any type of changes at quarterback. We're going to have to live with Zach Wilson. But if that's going to happen, at least give us a chance. If he's not moving the ball and the offense is inept, make a quarterback change. Provide the team with some kind of a spark. How many times have we seen quarterbacks against us, against our team, backup quarterbacks come in? I mean, it's almost a regular occurrence that when a backup quarterback comes in, we look at each other as Jet fans. We're like, we already know what's going to happen, right? This guy's going to magically will this team to victory because he gives them new life. Why can't we try that? We have a backup quarterback that they have absolutely zero confidence can play at a higher level than a quarterback we have that's not playing at a high level. So why is he on the team? Why did you sign Trevor Siemian if you're not going to dress him? That makes absolute zero sense to me. I mean, somebody's got to answer that question. There's nothing wrong with taking Zach out if he's ineffective and try something different. That's the coach's job, to try to win games. It's not fair to the guys on the sideline, to the defense. Give them some hope. Give the fans some hope. There was one point where they came back from a TV timeout yesterday, and it felt like a pin could drop. And this was after the start of a game that was hyped up. It looks like the fans are only hyped up when the defense is on the field. I don't blame them. The defense is electric. They're making plays. They're sacking the quarterback. They're hitting people. They're flying all over the football field. The offense, nothing. 3 and outs, putrid, dump off passes. It's crazy to me. I don't understand when coaching a player hard became a bad thing. Pull him and let him think about it. And maybe he'll start thinking like, this is not cool. I don't like being pulled out of the games. I don't like being benched. I got to do better. Let him think about it. But man, these coaches now, I mean, they just don't want to coach players hard. They want to coddle these players, especially this kid. They're doing everything that they could possibly can to make him comfortable, when they should start trying to make him a little bit more uncomfortable. Maybe that will work. Saleh needs to coach these guys hard. I mean, everybody says that people like to run through a brick wall for him. They love him. They love playing for him. Well, maybe he needs to get a little bit more tougher. And maybe that's why all these stupid, undisciplined pre-snap penalties are happening, because maybe players don't feel like they're going to be held accountable for it. He should be ripping these guys up. That's unacceptable, inexcusable. Like I said earlier, we're not good enough of a team to be able to overcome turnovers, penalties, mistakes, lack of execution on third down. We just aren't. It isn't fair to the defense, and it isn't fair to all these fans that pay all that money to go see this team play on a Monday night game. But anyhow, I'll be making another video later this week to predict from the gut the Jets versus the Raiders Sunday night game. So tune into that. More than likely, I'll be making that in a couple of days. But anyhow, let me know your thoughts on what you think about on this video. If you agree, you disagree, just leave your comments in the comment section. If you like this video, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe and come hang out with your boy more often. Either way, I appreciate everyone's support. And until next time, this is Johnny signing out from the Hangout Spot, and I will talk to everybody soon.